everyone, and welcome to I'm the Mama podcast. I'm your host, Ashley L., and today I'm going to be joined by my hubby, Mr. Julian Sr. now, now that we have a son. First and foremost, I want to thank you for tuning in today from wherever you are. Be sure to like, follow, share, comment, subscribe, and definitely appreciate you. So today's topic, let's go over I'm the Mama, where we focus on the ins, outs, and everything in between of being a mom. And before we dive in, I want to definitely give a shout out. You see my equality shirt. I want to shout out to DJST Shirt Company. You can find them on Instagram. Thank you so much for the beautiful shirt. And it speaks for itself, really. And so today, as you see, again, I'm joined by my handsome husband, and we are going to be talking about an important topic for new parents. I like to call it Love Me, Love Me Not. Again, the title kind of speaks for itself, but as I kind of mentioned in episode 1, we've been able to endure some amazing and experience some amazing things with our son. But realistically, being new parents and being together for so long, just the two of us by ourselves, we also endure some challenges. So instead of you hearing from me and me only, I thought it's very important to be able to speak from a male's perspective of, kind of the things that he experienced as well. And so, just to recap kind of how I announced my pregnancy to him, y'all, threw him all the way off, because interestingly enough, that same week we were actually talking about the steps that we were going to be taking next. It's been 2 years. We were talking about me starting infertility, trying to check and see if everything was okay with me, him checking, making sure his men are doing good down there, all of those good things. And so, or all those important things, I'm not going to say good things, but all those important things. And interestingly enough, that same week that I actually had an appointment coming up, me and my best friend met to go get some dinner. And I just kind of share with her everything that was going on, the fact that I was about to go, we were about to go through the process to, just check ourselves and see what was going on. Was it us? We were uncertain. So at that point, we were ready, but we wanted to see if there was any additional steps that we needed to take medical wise. And so anyways, while she and I were sitting there talking at dinner, she felt it upon herself to make sure to tell me things that were placed upon her heart. After hearing what we were about to go through, she was like, Ashley, God is telling me to tell you patience. In due time, it is going to happen. Before you start all of these things, just be patient. It's about to happen. But again, you have to stay focused on him, know that his timing is the best timing, and just give it a little bit more time. And so I took that brought it back home, talked to my husband about it. And surprisingly, he was in agreement. He was like, yeah, let's just wait. I'm okay with waiting as well. And interestingly enough, this was a Sunday. That Thursday is when I found out I was pregnant. I just kind of had the feeling, obviously my mother nature, my cycle didn't start. So that was one big indicator. But by Thursday, I just had something that kept telling me, like, here's your time. It's go time. Are you ready? So anyways, we're just going to kind of talk to him and just kind of get his input on the process from pregnancy all the way into the first year of being here. So babe, if you don't mind kind of explaining, how did you feel after finding out I was pregnant?
Okay. Afterwards, I mean, technically, I guess you could say that the night of ultimately was, a little different, only because more so I was upstairs doing some YouTube stuff, watching the videos or whatever. And, we have like one of those, I guess, tri-level houses. So she came upstairs from the bottom floor to say, this is like 11:30 at night, where she just came in from like being out or whatever with her cousins or something like that. So then she says, pretty much, go downstairs so I can, go downstairs because I got a present for you. But then I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Like normally you come upstairs, we're going into bed at 11:30. Then she was like, I'm going to bring your present downstairs. So it's like, why am I going downstairs for you to bring me something back downstairs? Like that sounds weird, but it's cool. I'll play along. It's whatever, I'll go down there and play along. Then as I'm walking downstairs, I see an iPad on the table, and it's like, all right, well, Like, I know we don't do video stuff, much or whatever. So it's like, I know something's up at this point or whatnot, but still didn't know, fully what it is. And then she gave me a shoe box. And it's like, you're not going to really be this elaborate about shoes. Because she did say me and my mom have a thing going on, or competition trying to see who knows you best as far as shoes. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll see. My mom ain't bought me shoes in 20 years. So where would that happen? Anyway, so ultimately opened the box and contrary to popular belief, I've never seen a pregnancy test in my life, like ever, like in person. I've never seen one. It's kind of one of those things of, if you never have a car, you never see that car until you get it. So I've been around babies. I got friends that have kids, I got niece, nephew, all the good stuff, but I've never actually delved into that baby world. So I'm looking at it, and it's more so like, I don't really know what the lines mean yet. So it's like, she's not really excited at all. Like she's not showing any emotion yet.
I couldn't, right?
So I'm like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Should I be trying to console her right now? Should I be excited right now? Like, I don't really know. So then the second one, actually, she did have two. So the second one actually said the word pregnant on it.
I knew I had to do that for him.
So I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. It literally says it on here. So despite all the, not despite, but with all the thoughts going through your head at one time, it was excitement, obviously. Then it was not necessarily fear, but more so like, oh, it's happening right now. Then I would say that was my first and second thought. Then the third and fourth was, how much money do I have? How much money do I need, ultimately? So all of that was literally in a matter of moments. Then I just remember getting hot. Like, I just got super hot, ultimately. Just sit on the couch, no shirt on, but I just started,
he was sweating.
I could feel myself sweating. It's like, wow, it's real
it's
now.
Like,
now it's happening. So that was mainly my first thought. So I'm excited, but now it's really, really happening. So
yeah,
where do we go from here?
So we'll see how much I know you better than your mom.
Are they ugly or something? Why would I not like them? So it's not a shoe. Better not be a coronavirus test. I ain't about to do that. It's a pregnancy test? You got to pee on this? Ew. Shit. Y'all playing. This fake or something?
Your mom doesn't know anything.
Y'all gotta be playing. So wait a minute, so who did it? I mean, not who did it, but when did you do it?
I just did it.
Is it? I mean, I don't know how to. Is this one used or not used?
Does it say something on there
still? This one say pregnant, I know. But don't know this one say.
Look at what it says.
Pregnant, not pregnant. For real. I see you over here sweating and you show. You positive.
Not positive till I go to the actual doctor. But these are these are results for right now.
Life just got real, boy. Life just got real. Let's get it, man. We was just talking about this, 2 nights ago?
Sunday.
Where from there?
When I came back from Gigi.
Ooh, I'm gonna start sweating. Okay, shit. I gotta get back to work. I gotta go. We gotta get back to work, boy. Hey, we out. Clearly, we is. It look like expecting something.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you can't ever, plan like fully of having a child, whether it be financial, because if you have the finances together, I feel like you won't be mentally ready. Or, if you are mentally ready, then you may not have the finances. There's always going to be something where you're not fully prepared. And so it was just very interesting just to see, because by that time when he read the word pregnant, I was able to show my excitement. And I kind of felt like he didn't believe me just because we literally just talked about it. And he said that he was like, we were just talking about this. And it's like, yeah, again, just standing firm and believing. And look how quickly, God is like, all right, gotcha. It's go time, So yeah, it was a beautiful moment. But then again, I just saw him sweating profusely. It was like, oh gosh, I can only imagine what's going on in that head of his. He's a finance major. So I knew the numbers. Everything is about time. So I knew the numbers were one of the main things that was coming across. But again, nonetheless, it was definitely a beautiful moment. We were actually able to kind of do the same concept of the Nike box, surprising other family members and friends and things as well, just to announce our pregnancy. So it was just a very, very beautiful occasion to see all of that. So again, just to kind of fast forward, my pregnancy, like I told y'all, I had round ligament or pelvic pain, round ligament pain, pelvic pain. I was sick that first 13 weeks, really. I was sick the entire time. And if I wasn't sick, then I was asleep. And so for me, it was just exhausting. That's probably the best way of describing it. I was exhausted all the time, couldn't really eat. Second trimester, things definitely got better. And then by third trimester, kind of like, everyone says, I was just kind of ready to have him by that point. I tried to enjoy it as best as possible and embrace the moment because, again, this is something that we've been waiting for. But again, nonetheless, yes, your girl was sick over the toilet multiple times a day and just wondering, when is this part going to end? So, you seeing me go through all of that, 9 months of, different transitions that was taking place, going from my flat belly, y'all know I got a flat belly, right? To now a protruding stomach that's huge. Like, kind of walk us through that process of what you went through, maybe some things that you were thinking about, trying to take care of me, make sure I'm good, tell us all about it.
I mean, I would say it was definitely, I wouldn't say it wasn't what I expected. I didn't necessarily, think every day about what it would be like if my wife's pregnant, nothing like that. But I would say it wasn't as bad, I guess you could say, as like TV or sometimes other people make it seem. Or maybe she just didn't have certain things going on that other women do, I guess.
I'm a G about I'm the mama. Let them know.
Yeah, so it wasn't that difficult there. I think for a man's point of view, seeing your wife go through things that you can't help her with. I mean, yeah, you can pat her on the back, yeah, you can rub her, shoulders, whatever, but you literally can't take away the pain, or you can't take away the sickness. I can't say, hey, it's cool, give it to me, I'll go deal with it. But it's like, I can't. So
I wish I could have.
It's more so, I think that's more so the harder part. Everything else, surprisingly, as everyone has always said, they want to eat all day, every day. She didn't do that. So I was, kind of glad about that.
We didn't have any of those moments where he had to do late night runs and go pick up stuff because I'm just so angry and hungry. We didn't have any of that.
Yeah, she wasn't like, she didn't gain 10,000 pounds from, that type of thing or whatever. So, I mean, mainly most of the weight was right in her stomach, which was, again, surprising. Not necessarily, again, that I expected other things, but it was more so just I'm witnessing now in person. So, again, for me, it wasn't bad. The only thing from a guy's point of view, the other thing, the other physical situation, I know doctor-wise or medical-wise, they always say, of course, most men, you can't, poke the baby in the head type of thing, whatever. But I don't even think it's not necessarily that. So let's say growing up, you all just figured, not necessarily pregnant women were not attractive, but you didn't necessarily think you'd have that sexual urge with the pregnant woman. You're pregnant. Like, I figured the urge just goes away. So to feel that it wasn't going away, and she is now getting through 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 months pregnant, you're showing, it still was like, okay, for one, I'm surprised in a good way. I'm still attracted to you as far as pregnant wise. Like, I still want to have sex, but at the same time, it's more so like, I don't want to really have sex right now. I just want you to just sit there, be pregnant, be a mom, go through it type of thing. You don't necessarily want to hurt anything, I guess you could say. But yeah, that was it.
Gotcha. So fast forward, y'all heard my delivery story. What took place during that time. He was right there during the whole thing. So kind of, the audience is already aware of how things changed very quickly when it came to going from a natural birth, all the preparation that was done for it, to now, boom, wife has to have a cesarean. We got to get your baby out now because his heart rate's dropping. Kind of talk about what went on in your mind during that moment of, again, noticing his heart rate dropping, to now the whole birth plan that I had you memorize pretty much changing.
All right. Ultimately, I knew that birth plan thing wasn't going to go as planned. I kind of knew that. It's like this ain't really going to go as detailed as it was. But I would say seeing certain things happen in the moment, the main thing was I can't really show certain excitement or I guess you could say certain worry. Can't get too excited because, again, I don't want to panic and then make her panic more. At the end of the day, the more calm I am, the more calm she would be. But when everybody ran in and stuff and tried to do everything, rushing her out and everything else, my main thought was, I'm big on the Bible, but at the end of the day, I don't read it necessarily every day, all day type of thing. But my main verse was, God always says he won't put more on you than you can bear. So my main thought was, it doesn't look technically the way I thought it would, but at the end of the day, I don't know what's going on, but I'm more so trusting in God that he's going to make sure everything's straight or make sure everything's fine because he knows, how I feel about that situation.
It makes sense. And it did. Everything ended up going well, despite, again, the changes that had to take place, impromptu changes. Things end up going well at the end of the moment. So, again, just grateful for that taking place. And so let's kind of discuss Bean's arrival. Again, here I am, cesarean. So I have that big blue sheet in front of me. So I can't see anything. And technically this one, he's not supposed to be looking, but this one's standing up, looking over, looking at everything taking place. And they had to tell him to sit down. But, his initial cry, which it did take a moment, but his initial cry, now the realization of, okay, here we go. It's go time. What was going on in your mind during that time?
Okay, so yeah, ultimately, well, first, they kept me out of the room initially. So I was expecting to, nothing would be started until I get in the room. They said we're going to take her to the room and prepare her to have, for delivery. So I thought, they said we're going to bring you in. So I thought when I get in there, it's going to be starting. But when I got in, they already had the blue sheet up. Like she said, she's already laying down, which was different as far as just seeing everybody in the room. There's more people in the room than I thought would be there. So again, like you said, my thing was more so I'm looking to see what you're doing. Like there's a lot of people on the other side of the blue curtain, and I want to make sure you're taking care of him and her ultimately, because there was blood ultimately on that side of the sheet everywhere, and it was just confusion at first. But when he did come out, not making noise, they were saying he was a little bit blue or whatnot. I guess from being in there. But when he did cry, it was different, to hear your son crying, to hear something that you make the first sound ultimately, that for me meant he was safe, at least, he is alive, everything's safe, he's good to go. So I was excited about that. And then obviously seeing her still talking and awake was a good sign as well, meaning, they're both fine at this exact moment. All the fears you kind of had are ultimately gone.
Yeah, that's true. And again, not to just harp on the moment, but it was definitely different. I've never had any surgeries before, nothing major like that. So again, the moment itself was very overwhelming, very surprising, and in a sense traumatizing. But again, after hearing his voice, nothing else mattered at that moment. It was just the fact that I was going to be okay, and the fact that he was okay, that's what mattered most. So, and again, when he announced that he was out, he was able to walk over and see him. It was just that moment of peace kind of came upon me, like, okay, we're going to be okay. So it felt good. So fast forward, here we are a year after, Bean is now a year. Happened super fast. super fast, but amazing moments. Fortunately, we both have been able to be around for every single milestone taking place, and I'm grateful for it. But let's kind of talk about the fact that you've been able to witness all of his milestones and his growth, and be a part of every single moment. And from a dad's perspective, how does that make you feel?
It feels good. Ultimately, it feels amazing to be able to watch again him learn and grow so fast, just from literally, having to put your pinky in his mouth to feed him through a tube, and he could do nothing. Like he couldn't literally do anything. But then to now seeing him recognize again faces and grabbing bottles himself with two hands, seeing him try to, crawl and walk and climb steps, just to see that he's ultimately fearless at this age. He's not scared of pretty much anything except new people sometimes, but and not even scared of them. More so, he just don't want to be bothered with certain people. But just seeing how much he's growing and how fast he's catching on and grasping certain things is definitely amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And so again, we've been together for 11 years. We're going on 11 years this year. It's crazy to even think how quickly that time actually even went by. When y'all say the longest relationship I've ever been in, the longest relationship ever. I don't know about the same for him, but for me, it's the longest relationship ever. Yeah, I think I'm close to it.
Definitely the longest. Yeah, definitely the longest.
And so with that, we've been so used to it being just us, just the two of us. We live in Atlanta, so going out was a thing for us. Going out to eat, going partying, having a good time, being around people all the time. Just having that, hey, let's do this today. Boom. And now we can go and do it. That was kind of how we operated. But now, becoming parents, things have been a little bit different within this first year. So let's just kind of discuss any challenges that you feel that we faced as becoming new parents.
Okay. I might fall on the sword for y'all fellas, maybe. Ultimately, I think the main challenge is more so co-parenting, like learning each other as parents. And, taking care of the kid is obviously a new thing for both. If it's your first kid anyway, that part is new for both. But then you can talk about how you want to raise a kid, but until they're there, you're not really having that firsthand experience on how you both will react to taking care of your kid.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference, because you have two people who both love this person and both want to do above and beyond for this person. So it just so happens that sometimes those opinions might be different. So that's the problem of how do you get through those times ultimately, when, again, you still want to be there, obviously, because it's your son. So you still want to be in the room present. Then it's more so, again, just that was the biggest issue for us anyway. Like, it's not, him crying. A lot of people, some people don't like the crying and stuff. We were fine with the crying. We were fine with getting up at night. We didn't really have any arguments in terms of who's going to get up at night. It was, everything else was pretty good. It was just more so that part of it, in terms of just trying to internalize both of our plans for a newborn and how to raise now this new human being ultimately.
Yeah, that makes sense. And kind of like I mentioned before in the last episode, it's very important to, like you mentioned, you can't fully prepare until the baby gets here, no matter how many conversations that you have, because we did that. We talked about what kind of, I feel like that's how we even got married, is because we both saw and knew what type of parents that we wanted to be for our child when that time came. But it's different when the child actually gets here and certain situations take place that you didn't think were going to happen, or again, just not really being aligned during certain things. You can't really prepare for that until it happens. Well, I take that back. You can prepare for it before it happens, or at least when it does happen, just knowing the importance of communication and how you communicate to each other. I think that's most important. Like, if you aren't seeing eye to eye, just making sure that the communication is still respectful making sure that, you know, if you are arguing, definitely don't do it in front of the child, because again, that's something that we wanted to make sure of. If there is a disagreement, that he is not a part of it. He isn't hearing that taking place, and we still stand firm on that today. But again, there will be misunderstandings. There will be, disagreements and things. I think it's all in how you handle it and how you address it with each other, and don't try to bottle it all in. Fellas or ladies, I'll say either one, whoever, don't bottle it in, because again, you become a ticking bomb at that point, because again, this is all something new, and you don't want it to keep festering inside of you, where when you do decide to talk, it's not full on talking, it's full of anger and resentment and things of that nature. So I definitely agree with that. So what's some advice that you would give to a soon-to-be father or a new father?
Or a new mom?
Or mom,
Okay.
a new parent itself. I'm about to say,
I'm gonna save you.
I'm gonna keep his arms off of this because he's moving it. But yeah.
All right. I would say for my men, definitely work on your patience. Definitely, you're gonna need a reserve tank full of patience, because every day you wake up, you need to take something out and use it for that day. Patience. I would say ultimately, she's going to be going through more things internally, mentally, emotionally, chemically, in terms of, different things happen with women as far as body wise, all the hormones and whatnot. That's going to happen, and that's fine. So you got to be prepared to, well, I don't want to say tolerate is bad, but you got to be prepared to be there for her when she does need it, or when the kid needs it or whatnot. Sometimes she might need a break, and you're going to need to be there for that. Sometimes she's going to say things that she may or may not mean, or she may not have she may not have the patience at that exact moment to make it sound good as she says it. So it may come out in a weird or aggressive tone. And you got to internalize, like, all right, cool. I know you don't necessarily mean it in that exact way, so I'll just do whatever it is, whatever. I remember a good point in time, whatever she said, I was just, all right, cool. Not even asking, what is it? How do you want me to do it? Or whatever. I need such a cool. I'm already out the door by the time she even gets done telling me what it was. I'm just on the way to go get it, pick it up, whatever. I would say for my women, ultimately, you have to understand that you're not more of a parent than the husband, and this is for the good couples, like the couples that are actually together type of thing, the good dudes, whether you're married or not married, but the people who are actually there, like the man and wife, woman who are actually there. You're not more of a parent than he is just because you birthed the baby. We cannot. God set it up that way. So
unfortunately,
that doesn't make you more of a parent. Yes, you have to breastfeed. That doesn't make you, well, that does make you closer to him sometimes as far as the actual bonding experience, but that still doesn't make you more of his parent than the man is. So a lot of times I think that gets in the way, because sometimes women overexert their emotions or their feelings or their desires, and the man should just say okay and deal with it. But it's like, no, that's my kid too. I have goals and desires and things that I want to, see happen at this time. So I think that's the biggest challenge with, again, some men have less or more patience. So for you guys who are short-tempered or ultimately don't have a lot of patience with work or your friends or family, whatever, this is one moment where you need to find all the patience you can, again, talk to some people or whatnot. But most men that I've talked to all have been through the same thing. I didn't know, I thought I was tripping at first. I'm gonna agree with you. I thought I was tripping at first because I didn't know how to actually go about certain emotions. So I didn't know I was semi on the right track until my dad, who very suddenly talks, and her dad, who ultimately, they both at different moments have said, in that for 3-4 months period of time, have said, so look, I'm gonna be real with you. How you doing? And that's when you kind of know, okay, so these emotions are real up here. The confusion or whatever is real up here. But again, it's just patience. Just have quite a bit.
Yeah, So from what I got from that is, again, exactly what he said: patience and understanding and communication with each other. I'm going to keep throwing communication in there because, again, once you have that communication, it can kind of help with all of those other things. When he or she is experiencing a moment and they are at their last wit with that last moment of patience, being able to communicate that to each other is going to be very important. Or when she is emotional, instead of her, trying to keep it all in, or him, during the phase of a new parent, you will have a lot of different emotions taking place on both ends. So being able to communicate to each other is going to be very important, because again, we want to get over that hurdle, over that moment, so that we can continue on. We can hopefully be able to see eye to eye, or agree to disagree, but at least understand and acknowledge that we've hurt each other, so that we can continue on this journey of parenthood and being the mama and the dad together. And so first, I want to thank you so much for taking out the time to join the podcast today of I'm the Mama, just hearing from the dad's side. Definitely appreciate it. Very helpful information. Again, definitely, it's been an amazing journey, and we definitely look forward to continuing as he's becoming a toddler, doing more things. We're baby proof in this home now. And so it's beautiful overall, but those are just some of the things that we experience that we feel like it's necessary to be transparent, as well as to hopefully help some future couples that will be going down that path soon. And so, of course, I'm not going to end without a amazing inspirational quote of the day. And so the one that I'm going to read off today is by Rajneesh. And so it says, "The moment a child is born, the mother is also born. She never existed before. The woman existed, but the mother never existed. A mother is something absolutely new. So be true to yourself. Know that this is something new. It's a beautiful moment, but also there are going to be different things that take place. And so as long as you stay focused, as long as you keep a positive attitude, stay optimistic of knowing every day is not going to be the same. And when there are harder times, things are definitely going to get better. But this is all new. And so love it, embrace it, cherish it, and be grateful for it. Okay. And so a few things: new means different, unfamiliar, unique, but it also means beautiful, adventurous, and permanent. You're a permanent mama. And so make it the best that it can be for you. Okay. I want to thank you all for taking out the time to meet and listen and, share this information on today. Next, we're going to be talking about an important topic on just taking time out for you. That's going to be important. That kind of goes off of this topic here. Even if it's just for a moment, just taking some time out for you. That's for mama or for daddy. But of course, this show is about the mamas. But just taking some time out. And so that's going to be our next topic. Be sure to tune in. And as always, we appreciate you for liking, following, sharing, and subscribing my show. And until next time, everybody continue to keep your head up, keep the love high, and we'll see you next time. Take care.